I think when you look at the psyche of Xabi Alonso from Real Madrid, you'd understand that the bulk of the blame shouldn't entirely go to him. I know he has issues when it comes to, stamping his authority in the dressing room and the disconnects that he had with some few players, talking about Vini Jr., talking about Rodrigo, and then the poor results in key matches, such as the heavy loss against PSG in the Club World Cup. And then there's that loss, at home against the Celta Vigo, and then the loss to Man City as well. And you look at the fact that Real Madrid players tend to get injured very well. That's not entirely on him. The medical staff has to be blamed, but as the manager, the head coach, a portion of that blame would go to him. And then you look at the position of Perez, the president of Real Madrid, and the club's culture. You'd always know that it was just about when Xavi Alonso would be sacked because especially the results were not in his favor. But I think there are a lot of things that Real Madrid fans do not understand, and some of those things are the fact that there's been a lot of gap in this team, in terms of transitions of players leaving the squad, the squad transitions, and then the kind of players that are coming into this team have not been able to actually replace these players that have transitioned out of this team effectively. And I'll take an example of, Luka Modric and, Tony Cruz. Tony Cruz and Luka Modric were an essential part of this Real Madrid core and everything they achieved in the past decade, even the years before then. And they were actually, the front liners when it comes to performance on the pitch for Real Madrid, and everybody just followed, into the rhythm. They always make something happen. They make this team compete on all levels in all competitions that they play with. And you could look at these players and say they are just two players, and the team has gotten Bellingham, the team has gotten, Tchouaméni. You could talk about Adagula and all of those players playing in the midfield currently for Real Madrid, but they still have not brought that feel good factor that Toni Kroos and, Luka Modric had for this Real Madrid team. And that in itself entirely can be a reason why Real Madrid are not really performing at, an excellent level. When you look at players such as Antonio Rudiger, you look at players such as Raul Asensio, you look at players such as Dean Huijsen, apart from Carreras that has been very consistent and maybe Valverde, I look at the defense and they've been very, very shaky. These are not players, that you could rely on. Diego Milito would get injured and come back after 5, 6, 7 months and still be very better than these players that have been really available for this Real Madrid team. So, to be fair, I think Real Madrid had to look at so many factors, right? Not just Xabi Alonso as the manager, but all of these things, all of these bits and pieces of the things that I mentioned before going on to sack Xabi Alonso. But then the Madrid stars, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment. Drop a like and follow for more videos such as this one.